Welcome to 2025, where now country concerts are demonic.
A Florida man says he was teleported into a stolen BMW before crashing at 130 miles per hour.
There's a theory that public schools aren't just taking pictures of students, they're feeding a much bigger system that nobody's talking about.
What's that? Oh, whistleblowers are coming out about how they applied for three-letter agency positions telepathically.
Let's freaking go, y'all. Welcome back to Unreal Reality, guys. Today, we'll be reacting to creepy and mysterious videos you can't unsee. If anyone's new out there, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button so this video gets recommended to others. And with that out of the way, let's jump right into it, guys.
Welcome to 2025, where now country concerts are demonic. This is the Zac Brown Band. I've never heard of them, but they recently just played at the Sphere. Now, I don't know if this is some type of initiation to go mainstream or even to play at the Sphere, but people said they literally felt like they were getting dragged through the gates of hell. This concert starts off with a little boy inside of a red door in his bed. I'm not sure who this is supposed to resemble, maybe the lead singer or something. After this, they take you through a jungle or woods with portals everywhere. And then after that, you see the boy in front of the red door, but now it's on fire. And this literally looks like the door to hell, because after this, it starts to get really dark. You see this really big skeleton, and there's flames around him in this big kingdom, and he's wearing this crown. And then eventually you're gonna see that the lead singer is wearing that same crown, and then things start getting a little crazy. Just notice at the very end, you start to see the fallen angel. I'm not sure if this is supposed to represent Lucifer himself, but there's a lot of symbolism here, and you can watch it back and see what you can pick out. But I've never seen a country concert be this demonic in my entire life.
Isn't this the guy who sang Chicken Fried? Like, the Sphere could have picked any imagery. Cowboys, sunsets, whatever. But no, they decided to go with Lucifer's screensaver.
Day 765, spraying dog medicine on my hands to make them tougher. I can now levitate aluminum foil.
Yeah, when your skincare routine is pet meds and prayers. My guy dried his hands so bad, he's basically unlocking low-budget telekinesis.
This 911 call became one of the strangest police cases ever recorded. In 2014, at 2:45 in the morning, 45-year-old Joseph Parker called 911 from Tennessee. His voice was shaky as he admitted something almost impossible to believe.
Okay, what's going on?
I shot my wife, and I put her in the freezer.
He said he had shot his wife Samantha 2 days earlier and placed her inside their garage freezer. He thought she was gone until he checked on her hours before the call.
Well, I checked on her tonight, and she's not dead. Got a big hole in the temple of her head.
Joseph told the operator that Samantha was still alive. He said she was frozen solid, unable to speak, and only blinking in response to his questions.
Blink once, means yes. Blink twice, means no.
He begged for help while driving away from the house so first responders could get to her.
She's in the garage. You go through the kitchen to get into the garage.
When officers entered the garage, they saw red hair sticking out of the freezer. Her body was frozen solid, her wounds were obvious, and yet Joseph swore she blinked at him. But when investigators examined her, they learned she had been dead for days. The blinking, the answers, the entire conversation he thought he had with her never existed.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't his wife blinking. That was his brain glitching. I don't know, guys, what do you think? Maybe he accidentally tuned himself to 17 hertz.
This doorbell camera video shows what Bel Air, Texas police say are skilled thieves approaching a suburban home. But look what happens as they get closer. The camera starts to glitch and the picture warps, all because police say the thieves are using a jammer, a small device that disables a home's Wi-Fi. It's something security systems rely on. Police say the use of Wi-Fi jammers is growing, ramping up just as the holiday season peaks, with criminals targeting packages left on the doorstep. Security experts say to protect your deliveries,
the first thing is you can get a hardwired system that is not dependent on Wi-Fi.
plus consider a locking parcel box, schedule deliveries for when you're home, and opt for a camera that records on an SD card.
I bet if they put a fraction of their time, effort, and energy into like finding a job or doing something positive, they might not even have to be porch pirates anymore.
Guys, imagine a planet bigger than Earth with no land in sight, just water and waves from the North Pole all the way to the South Pole. This is actually a real planet called TOI 145-2b. It is a super Earth exoplanet that was discovered back in 2022 that's about 100 light years away from us. Scientists think it may be a water world that is completely covered in this deep ocean. So it's roughly 70% larger than Earth, about 5 times as massive, and it completes an orbit around its red dwarf star about every 11 days. Because of the planet's density and location in the star's habitable zone, where conditions might support life, it makes it a strong candidate for further research in case there is something living there, because they think it's covered in water. But it's just crazy to think about a planet with no land at all that's way bigger than Earth, and the ocean might be like deeper than the Mariana Trench everywhere on this planet, which is crazy. I saw someone talking about if there was alien life that got intelligent on this planet, they may not be able to leave the planet's atmosphere because of how high the gravity would be on this planet by using methods that we would use like rocket fuel. So they would have to develop some sort of nuclear or fusion reactor to power their rockets to be powerful enough to leave their orbit. People were also saying because it's orbiting this red dwarf star, it's likely tidally locked, so half the planet would likely be frozen solid while the other half is perpetually subjected to stellar flares and radiation. So maybe the conditions for life really isn't that good there. Anyways, I just wanted to give you guys some thalassophobia today, so there you go, you're welcome.
Guys, help me out. What's the movie where they land on the planet and it's nothing but water and gigantic waves? If you guys know, let me know down below. And you think that's a crazy space story? Check this one out.
The moon is a spaceship. It was built on Jupiter about 38 million years ago. Now, it doesn't have its own propulsion. It has to be towed. Our moon was towed into its orbit now about 15,000 years ago, just after the Ice Age. And when man first became aware of the skies, there was no moon, and then there was 2 moons, and then there was 1 moon. And we think that the 2 moons was the vehicle that towed our moon into space. Howard Menger wrote a book called From Outer Space to You, and when I read the book, I thought it was really great. Found out that not only he was invited up there, but there was a number of other people, scientists. They take them all around the moon. There's a train that travels to what he calls a copper highway, and he doesn't know how it goes, but it's very silent and goes very fast. Very nice people, very advanced, and they've taken, like I say, they've taken thousands of people over the years. People don't say that, won't tell their story, because they know that they won't be believed. Our solar system, we're told by NASA there's 9 planets. There's actually 40. There's the Earth plus 39. And each of those planets has a civilization, and each of those planets has moons that have civilizations.
Long story short, the moon is a spaceship that was towed here from another dimension, and the source, trust me, bro. What?
Poetics, bring the drums in.
Wow. Wild. My guy turned his apartment into American Ninja Warrior for his side chick. Seriously, Shorty was doing parkour just to escape the wife.
Well, it's safe to say I'm never sleeping after this. Take a look.
Cherokee, Dewey, come on.
What? Oh, hell no. The way I would shit my pants. Guys, I would have ran in that house, packed my things, and moved. I would have left the town, the state, maybe even the country. Who knows?
If you think mirrors are low-key creepy, you are not alone in that fear. Around the world, for thousands of years, people have been terrified of mirrors, not because of how they reflect you, but what might be looking back at you. Have you ever seen a mirror covered after someone passes away? Yeah, it's so that their soul doesn't get trapped in the mirror. Certain religions do that. Feng Shui says never put a mirror at the end of your bed because your soul might get confused while you're asleep and wind up in the mirror. In ancient Greece, they used to use mirrors to contact the dead, and sometimes the dead spoke back. And that brings us to the demon mirror. The mirror so terrifying that the Vatican has to keep it locked underground in the secret archive. The demon mirror is claimed to be carved from obsidian, which is volcanic rock that the Aztecs used to use to summon their god. The gag with the demon mirror is it doesn't summon anything, it shows you your death, or worse, it shows you your shadow self. They say this mirror whispers in Latin, cracks during blessings, and then heals itself overnight. One priest decided he was going to be Billy Badass and stand in front of the mirror alone. He left the room with his eyes bleeding, mumbling, "It knows my name," and he was never the same. The Vatican classifies the demon mirror as a class 3 infernal object, and it's in a lead-lined vault with constant supervision. Why? Not because it's haunted or possessed, but because it's waiting. What the hell is it waiting on? The church says there might be a twin out there, and if these two mirrors link up, it is quite literally the apocalypse. Here's the thing, black obsidian mirrors are actually not that uncommon. They're used as scries all the time, but there's certain mirrors out there, like the one that John Dee used, the Vatican's keeping a close eye on, but that's not it. Inside the Vatican archives, there's also a crucifix that bleeds during solar eclipses.
Doctors have called this the most rare and unusual death ever. In 2011, 38-year-old Brian Deplich lost his life in the most unusual way. He was spending a quiet night at home doing something completely ordinary, hanging wet clothes on a collapsible clothes horse drying rack. At some point, while moving around the small room, he tripped over a low wooden stool. The fall sent him backwards, and he landed squarely into the open drying rack. The metal frame folded in on itself with force, snapping shut around his upper body. The bars trapped him in a kind of locked position, pinning his neck, chest, and shoulders. Authorities believe that in the panic of trying to free himself, Brian's movements only made things much worse.
Wow.
Each attempt caused the rack to tighten further, crushing his airway and restricting his breathing. With no one else home and unable to break the frame or call out for help, he slowly suffocated. An outcome so bizarre that investigators initially struggled to understand how it had even happened. When he was found, there were no signs of foul play. No medical episode, no alcohol, nothing but just bad luck. The coroner emphasized how impossibly rare the accident was, saying this was far less likely than being struck by lightning or hit by a meteorite.
Now, I don't want to poke fun, but I think Brian took air drying the neck a little too literal in this one. Who knew backyard chores came with a risk of death?
A Florida man says he was teleported into a stolen BMW before crashing at 130 miles per hour. Then later on, he said, "Thank you for saving me from the aliens." What?
You saved me from the aliens.
So deputies pulled up to the scene, and yeah, they found a BMW that was dismantled pretty much. The front end was folded, the airbags was blown, but then there was the guy standing barefoot, bleeding. So he can't explain where these BMW came from. He can't really explain how he crashed the BMW doing 130 miles per hour. And he just keeps mumbling like he's switching from dimensions. So this is a crazy story here.
I got one security.
Thank you for saving me.
Give me just 1 second. That's not gonna catch it off.
Thank you for saving me.
You got him. He's out. I
don't know how I got him now.
Come on. Yeah. Signal 20 says.
Oh my God.
He started crying and begging to the officers, thank you for saving me from the aliens. So apparently he was just kind of lost. He didn't know where he was. So the claim here is he was teleported into this BMW, crashing at 130 miles per hour, running from aliens. Okay, what do you guys think about this?
I mean, he could be in shock. He could be under the influence. Maybe he's listening to something at 17 hertz. I have no idea. What do y'all think about this one? Drop your comments down below, guys.
What do you mean a 19-year-old girl gave birth to twins and they both had different fathers? Now in the article it says this is the happiest moment of her life. And of course it is. She's the first woman to pull off the
double child support method
in one pregnancy. Now if you're wondering how this happened, the 19-year-old girl from Brazil ended up getting plowed by 2 different guys on the same night.
Raw, mind you.
And I just know that both of these sperm cells had a cinematic masterpiece of a fight, on par with Naruto and Sasuke for their spot in the womb. I mean, it had to be peak. Both swimmers ended up tying in the 1v1. I don't think y'all realize how bad this is. She is the first person to do this. Her level of infidelity was so extreme that she pushed the
laws of science.
I mean, Bonnie Blue, the woman who slept with thousands of guys in a night, hasn't even accomplished this. I know she's jealous. I mean, either it was
double XP weekend,
or this woman potentially slept with more guys than Bonnie Blue in one night, potentially tens of thousands. Never in my life did I think somebody on this earth could say my brother from another father. Real shit though, there's no way we're getting the double capsule womb update before GTA 6. This shit cannot be real.
Yo, Brazilian girls really out here breaking hearts and biology. And could someone please explain to me how the DNA paperwork actually works in this scenario? Like, what?
A man in Argentina sees a ghostly woman figure in his car after going to the hospital ER.
Cuestión de que no hay nadie atrás nuestro. Y miramos dentro del auto y dijimos, oh, pues el auto... ¿Qué mierda es? Lo peor de todo es que no queremos salir. O sea, no... Un miedo, la puta madre. Lo peor de todo es que se mueve adentro del auto y no hay nadie. O sea, ahora vamos a ir a controlar el auto. Pero parece como si fuese un reflejo. La puta madre. Uf. No, boludo. A ver. Ya, salimos rápido para que vean que no es mentira. Mamá, la piel de gallina, hermano. Piel de gallina. Cagazo.
Where'd she go?
A few minutes later, he goes back inside, and the ghost reappears.
Y encima nos mira la puta que te parió. No, chabón. No. No, desapareció. La concha de...
Wow. Yup, and my very next call would be to my insurance company trying to figure out if I can file a claim for a new car because my current car is possessed.
I cannot imagine looking over at a car driving by and seeing this inside.
What?
There is absolutely no information floating around about this video, and I'll make sure to tag the original creator whose video I saw about it, but who I really want to hear from is whoever took the video, because as they were filming, they captured something extremely creepy as this car drove past them on the road. Now, a lot of people in the comments are saying that these passengers look no longer alive, and that the driver intentionally put masks on their face to seem less suspicious. He's also wearing a mask, possibly to shield his identity. Others were saying that it's possible that the driver is using props to get through the carpool lane, and that maybe he had taped their heads to the headrest to make sure that they stayed upright, but I don't know. While the figures in the back seat don't look so convincing, the way this person's eye looks with her skin sucked in around her neck is straight nightmare fuel, prop or not. Someone else in the comment section said that they actually heard about this man and there's supposedly an urban legend behind all of this. They said that this man supposedly lost both his wife and children and couldn't deal with the grief, so he created these life-size dolls to replace them. And if that's the case, it makes this whole thing more sad than scary, but what do you think?
There's a theory that public schools aren't just taking pictures of students, they're feeding a much bigger system that nobody's talking about. Every single year, schools bring in these random third-party companies to take high-definition photos of millions of kids. And when you really stop to think about it, it's kind of strange. Most parents don't question it. We sign a form, send our kid in a clean shirt, and never think twice. But if you actually look into who owns some of these companies, that's where people online start freaking out. Because when you follow the money, you don't end up at a small photography studio, you end up at a massive data firm, corporations with investments in facial recognition, AI training, and digital identity systems. And suddenly parents online are like, why does a data company want a perfectly lit, perfectly framed, high-resolution photo of my 7-year-old? Here's where the theory gets unsettling. These companies don't just take the photo, they store it, they process it, some even claim legal ownership of every image they capture. And when parents ask them to delete it, a few have literally said no, because that picture is now part of their system. So people are asking, is this really about school pictures, or are schools quietly helping build the next generation of facial data sets starting with our children? I'm not saying it's true, but with how fast digital surveillance is growing, it's not as far-fetched as you think. Stay weird.
I mean, they say it's for the yearbook, but it's really for Big Brother 2.0. Smile for the camera and smile for the AI tracking your entire life.
What's that? Oh, whistleblowers are coming out about how they applied for 3-letter agency positions telepathically. Tell me more! Yeah, people are coming out talking about how they applied for 3-letter agency positions through messages that were sent telepathically because of their very own psychic abilities.
What?
Oh, good. This is wild because they say the way that it works is these messages are sent out to only people that can pick these messages up telepathically. They then have to go talk to a very specific person that this message is being sent about, and they go talk to them about the position. Not only that, then most of the interviewing in that is done telepathically as well, and then they get hired on to do such positions. Oh, goody! These whistleblowers are also talking about how they didn't have psychic abilities just growing up. It just happened to them out of the blue one day. Oh, sure. I love that.
No cover letters, no resumes, just raw brainwaves beamed to a 3-letter agency. Guys, if your interview starts before you even know you applied, that's probably not a great sign.
He knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television. Everything ain't for everybody.
When you get 16, you're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Man, you good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good? Selling out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you haven't...
For all those in London that don't know what happens to the white man when he comes to a P. Diddy party, this is what happens to the white man. When they come to one of my parties, I put them to sleep. Where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we
what a shame.
Full crazy.
Bad boy now.
Signing the bad boy. Announcement.
Poor Justin trying to navigate his way through an entire world of red flags. Guys, this is what happens when fame comes early, but the predators RSVP first.
Bruh, at this point, I'm convinced that Earth is spawning new creatures. It's like we living in an update, fool. Because, what am I looking at? Is this supposed to be a prey mantis, a scorpion, and a wasp mixed? Fusion, huh? This ain't Dragon Ball Z. But these three creatures combined, that's what it look like. Tell me I'm tripping. Look at the arms, look at the legs, the body, and then look at the back. And this is not AI, fool. I don't know what Buddy doing recording. I would have smashed that jump. ASAP. It's like every month we're discovering some new type of creature, some alien type mutated bug or some shit. And if I had to take a wild guess at where this insect was on the planet, I'll say Australia. The crazy part is, scientists out here saying that this is normal. Normal where? I never seen or heard of this shit. Y'all let me know down below in the comments. Have you seen one of these? Like I always say, I don't know what timeline we in, but I don't like this DLC update, fool.
I knew it. How did I know he was gonna say this thing is native to Australia? I didn't sign up for this insect, okay? Australia's really out here showing off its premium horror collection with this one, guys.
There's a theory that Mary Poppins and It are the same kind of creature. Both characters follow the exact same rule. They only come out every few decades. They arrive when children are vulnerable. They shapeshift, they float, they break all sorts of laws of physics.
True.
They both kind of feed on emotions if you really think about it. Like Pennywise devours fear, and Mary Poppins feeds on imagination and joy. And the wildest part is that they both come back when the wind changes. It's literally the same trigger. Stephen King's universe, Pennywise is referred to as a glamour, which is an interdimensional creature that disguises itself to manipulate kids. And that's when people notice that Mary Poppins does the same exact thing, except it has this like wholesome disguise to it. She shows up out of the sky, she knows everything about these kids and the family instantly, bends reality, controls the environment, and she even has that creepy calm smile when she watches chaos unfold around her. Some people even say that the chalk walk sequence, the talking animals, the time jump, those aren't imagination. Those are different dimensions that she's pulling the children into. So yeah, Mary Poppins might not be a nanny. She might be Pennywise's sweet little cousin. And when you watch the movie from that lens, it low-key becomes a horror film.
Wow, something huge just happened in the world of ancient mystery research, and it could massively disrupt everything we think we know about ancient history. So on American Alchemy, Jesse Michaels just interviewed Italian radar engineer Filippo Biondi, and he was part of that team of scientists and researchers that released the bombshell claims about these structures potentially located under the Giza Plateau earlier this year. To summarize, Biondi and his team, they used a cutting-edge technique called SAR Doppler tomography, and basically reading microscopic surface vibrations using the Earth itself as the sensor. There was no drilling, there was no ground-penetrating radar, literally just physics. And according to the scans, the Khafre Pyramid sits above a vertical system of 8 massive shafts, plunging more than 3,000 feet down. Each one is wrapped in a spiral type of pattern, and they all connect to these cube-shaped chambers the size of like a football field. It's insanity. But here's where it gets even more interesting. 4 separate satellite systems, Umbra, Capella Space, ICEYE, and Italy's Cosmo Med, all produce the same subterranean map of what's beneath the pyramids.
Interesting.
Different companies, different technologies, same result. And Biondi's words were very blunt. He said, there's no natural process on Earth that creates geometry like this.
Wow.
I mean, whoa. And the pattern doesn't stop at Khafre. The same helical signature shows up beneath Menkaure, beneath the Sphinx, and even 30 miles away at Hawara.
Wow.
And this is a site long rumored to contain Egypt's lost underground labyrinth. Egyptian officials were obviously quick to dismiss the claims, but Biondi came prepared. He showed that the same method can be accurately used and image this known underground physics lab that's buried deep inside a mountain in Italy, proving that the technique works. His team has already sent a formal proposal to the Egyptian government. If they are approved, and that's a big if, of course, actual exploratory work could begin as early as 2026. Now, Jesse Michaels ended the interview basically speechless. And honestly, so was I, because if any of this is real and it pans out, then the Giza Plateau isn't just a monument. I mean, it's the surface layer of a much older, much larger engineered complex that is absolutely mind-boggling. And so, for the first time, we might actually be able to see what's below it. Let's hope.
Yeah, and you want to hear the sad part? This will probably get written off as a conspiracy theory solely so people don't find out the actual truth. So, that's all I got for this one, guys. Leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Smash that like and subscribe button. Fam, we are so close to our 100K goal. Come sub. We have our members channel open. Come join, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.